Perhaps there was a time when you shared something precious with someone you trusted. A hope, a prayer, a quiet sense that God was beginning something new in your life. You may have spoken with excitement, believing they would understand, but instead of encouragement, you received doubt, question, a dismissive smile. Maybe your dream was laughed at. Maybe your faith was treated as foolish. Maybe a small victory that meant everything to you was made to feel unimportant. And when the conversation ended, you walked away feeling smaller than before. So, over the years, you learned to become quiet. Not because you stopped believing, not because your hope disappeared, but because you discovered that some people cannot recognize what God is building while it is still hidden. Tonight, as the room grows still and the noise of the day begins to fade, perhaps you are carrying something within your heart that you have told almost no one. A prayer you are still waiting on. A new beginning you are afraid to name. A private hope that feels too tender to expose to another person's opinion. And perhaps you have wondered whether staying quiet means you are afraid. But silence is not always fear. Sometimes silence is protection. Sometimes it is wisdom. Sometimes it is the gentle shelter where faith can grow without being disturbed by voices that were never meant to guide it. God has always known how to work in hidden places. He shapes roots beneath the soil before anyone sees a branch. He prepares hearts before doors begin to open. He makes things beautiful in their proper time. Even when no one else understands what he is doing, perhaps the silence you have been carrying is not a sign of weakness, but the place where Jesus has been sitting beside you all along. Jesus understands the quiet places of the heart. He understands what it means to step away from the crowd, to leave the noise behind, and to meet with the Father where no one else is watching. There were moments when he healed, helped, and restored without seeking attention. Moments when he quietly told others not to announce what had happened. Not because the miracle was unimportant, but because not everything sacred needs to be exposed before its proper time. And perhaps this is what he wants you to understand tonight. You are not hiding because your faith is weak. You are not silent because your dream has no value. Sometimes quiet obedience is stronger than public explanation. Sometimes the most faithful thing you can do is protect what God has placed in your heart until he is ready to reveal it. Imagine Jesus sitting beside you now in the stillness of this room. There is no pressure in his presence, no demand to prove yourself, no need to convince anyone. He knows the prayer you have carried. He knows the hope you have guarded. He knows the small beginning that others might overlook, and he is not disappointed by your silence. He understands it. He honors the careful way you have learned to hold what is tender. He reminds you that your relationship with God does not need an audience to be real. Your faith does not become stronger because more people approve of it. Your calling does not become valid because someone else finally understands. The quiet moments between you and Jesus are already enough, and yet beneath that quietness, there may still be old wounds that have never completely healed. Perhaps some of those wounds began many years ago. A promise you believed would come true, but never did. A business you prayed over that slowly failed. A ministry or calling that once filled your heart with purpose, then quietly faded. A friendship you thought would last, but somehow disappeared without explanation. Maybe someone in your own family misunderstood your faith. Maybe they questioned your choices, dismissed your prayers, or made you feel foolish for still believing that God could bring something good from a difficult season. And after enough disappointment, you learned to protect the deepest parts of yourself. You stopped speaking about certain dreams. You stopped explaining what you felt God was doing. You became careful with hope, because hope had been bruised before. Jesus sees that. He sees the places where discouragement settled into your heart. He knows the moments when you smiled and changed the subject because telling the truth felt too vulnerable. He knows the prayers you stopped mentioning because waiting had become painful. And tonight, he does not ask you to pretend those memories no longer hurt. He simply comes near. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted, especially in the quiet hours when old disappointments return. You do not have to be ashamed of what did not work out. You do not have to explain why some losses still feel tender. You can let Jesus sit beside those memories with you. And as hidden pain is gently acknowledged in his presence, anxious thoughts begin to lose their grip. Perhaps some of those anxious thoughts have been waiting for the night to grow quiet. What if nothing changes? What if I have waited too long? What if I misunderstood? What if God has forgotten me? These questions can feel heavier after the lights are turned low and there is nothing left to distract the mind. They may become louder in seasons of retirement. Illness is an grief, loneliness, or change. And yet tonight, you do not have to argue with every fearful thought. You do not have to solve every uncertainty before you sleep. You can simply bring each concern to Jesus. One at a time. The worry about your future, the fear that an opportunity has passed, the ache of waiting for a prayer to be answered, the uncertainty about your health, your family, your finance, or the years ahead. Place each one gently into his hands. Not because you suddenly understand everything, but because he cares for you, even now. As your breathing slows, imagine your anxious hands beginning to open. The fingers that have held so tightly can begin to relax. The shoulders that have carried so much can soften. God has not asked you to predict every outcome. He has not asked you to force open doors that remain closed. He has only invited you to trust that His wisdom reaches farther than your fear. And perhaps the silence around your life is not emptiness. Perhaps it is the quiet space where God is arranging what you cannot yet see. You are still remembered. You are still held. You are still being guided. And when anxious hands finally open, they become ready to receive something far gentler. And what your open hands are ready to receive tonight is not another demand. It is rest. Jesus is not asking you to carry your private hopes with more strength than you have. He is asking you to let Him carry them with you. So bring Him the worries you rarely speak about, the concern for a son or daughter who seems far away, the fear that your savings may not be enough, the changes in your health that you have tried not to mention, the loneliness that settles into the house when the day grows quiet. Bring Him the regret over choices you wish you could change. Bring Him the prayers that have remained unanswered for so long that you no longer know how to speak them. And bring Him the dream you have protected from everyone else. The small hope still alive beneath the disappointment, the possibility you are almost afraid to believe in again. You do not need to explain it perfectly. You do not need to prove that it came from God. You do not need to know how or when it will unfold. Simply place it before Jesus. Imagine Him receiving every burden without surprise, impatience, or condemnation. Nothing you offer Him is too heavy. Nothing is too small. Nothing is too late. He knows how long you have carried these things. He knows how tired your heart has become. And He still says, "Come to me." Come with the questions. Come with the waiting. Come with the hidden dream. Come exactly as you are tonight. Little by little, let the weight leave your hands. Let your breathing become softer. Let your heart rest in the truth that you were never meant to hold all of this alone. And as your heart becomes lighter, God's quiet promises begin speaking more clearly. Perhaps one of those quiet promises is this: hidden does not mean forgotten. A seed beneath the soil may look like nothing is happening. Yet in the darkness, roots are forming, life is strengthening, something unseen is preparing to rise. And perhaps God has been doing the same within you. The waiting has not been empty. The silence has not been wasted. The years that seemed still may have been deepening your faith in ways no one else could recognize. You may not yet see the branch. You may not yet see the answer. You may not yet understand why certain doors remained closed. But God is not confused about the path before you. He is not late. He is not uncertain. He is not measuring your future by your age, your past disappointments, or the opinions of those who doubted you. Tonight, you can trust Him without having every explanation. You can let the hidden work remain hidden for a while longer. Not every blessing needs to be announced before it is ready. Not every prayer needs to be defended before it is answered. Some things become stronger when they are allowed to grow quietly in God's care. And those who wait upon the Lord are not waiting alone. He renews strength in places that have become tired. He steadies hearts that have grown discouraged. He gently directs the steps of those who lean upon Him. So let the night be still. Let the unanswered questions rest. Let God work without your fear, interrupting the peace He is giving you. And as hope quietly returns, old memories begin looking different through God's grace. Perhaps some memories still return when the room becomes quiet. A door that closed after you had prayed for it to open. A relationship that changed without warning. A season when you believed relief was near, only to face another disappointment. Maybe you once felt certain that God was leading you towards something beautiful, and when it did not unfold as you expected, you quietly blamed yourself. You wondered if you had heard him wrong, if your faith had not been strong enough, if you had somehow missed your moment. But tonight, Jesus does not lead you back into those memories to accuse you. He returns with you to bring tenderness where confusion once lived. Imagine him standing beside the version of you who was trying so hard to remain hopeful, the one who prayed through tears, the one who waited longer than anyone knew, the one who felt ignored, embarrassed, or left behind. Jesus does not criticize that weary heart. He draws near to it. He reminds you that a delayed answer was never proof that you were unloved. A broken relationship did not mean you were abandoned. A dream that ended did not erase your purpose. And even the seasons you still do not understand have not fallen outside his care. God can gather what felt wasted. He can soften what became bitter. He can bring meaning from places that once seemed empty. You do not have to rewrite the past tonight. You only need to let his presence enter it. And little by little, yesterday's pain becomes lighter, while tonight's home begins to feel different. Perhaps you can feel that difference even now. The room seems a little quieter, the air a little softer. The weight inside your chest no longer feels quite as heavy as it did before. Imagine the peace of God resting gently over your home tonight, over the front door, over every window, over the hallway, the kitchen, the living room, and the place where you will soon lay your head. Let every room become still. Let every unfinished conversation wait until tomorrow. Let every worry remain outside the door for a little while. You do not have to invite fear into this night. You do not have to keep watch over everything that may happen. The Lord is watching over your coming and your going. He is near to the family members who live under this roof. He is near to the children and grandchildren who may be miles away. He is near to the loved ones whose choices concern you. He is near to the people whose names still rise quietly in your prayers. And even if you live alone, you are not alone in this home. Jesus is present in the silence, present in the empty chair, present beside the photographs that hold so many years of love, present in the memories that bring both gratitude and longing. His peace is not fragile. It does not depend on every problem being solved. It does not disappear because tomorrow remains uncertain. It can rest here now, steady and quiet, are surrounding you with a safety deeper than human understanding. And as your home becomes peaceful, your heart is ready to rest as well. You do not need to understand every unanswered question tonight. You do not need to know exactly what God is building, when it will appear, or how it will finally unfold. His faithfulness does not depend on your ability to see the whole picture. Even when his work remains hidden, his hands remain steady. Even when no one else recognizes what is happening, heaven has not lost sight of you, and nothing that truly belongs to God's purpose can be taken away by another person's doubt, criticism, or opinion. So let yourself become still. Release the need to explain. Release the need to prove. Release the need to make others understand what God has placed quietly within your heart. You are free to stop striving now. Free to let the unfinished remain unfinished until morning. Free to trust that what God is tending in secret does not require your constant protection. Perhaps your breathing has already become slower. Perhaps your shoulders are beginning to soften. Perhaps the thoughts that felt so urgent earlier are becoming quieter. Let them pass without following them. Let the silence hold you. Let the presence of Jesus become more real than the questions. He is here. He is not rushing you. He is not asking for more effort. He is simply inviting you to rest beneath the care of a God who never sleeps. Be still. Dear heart, you are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not too old for grace to bring something new. And before sleep gently carries you into the night, there is one final prayer to whisper together. Dear Jesus, thank you for meeting me in this quiet place. Thank you for the work you are doing that I cannot yet see. Thank you for every hidden root, every silent preparation, and every door you are opening in your perfect time. Tonight, I release the need to explain myself. I release the need to prove what you have placed in my heart. I release the opinions that discouraged me, the words that made me doubt, and the memories that taught me to hide my hope. Help me keep sacred what you are still shaping. Teach me to trust your timing without fear. Teach me to wait without losing peace. Teach me to believe that hidden does not mean forgotten. I place tomorrow into your hands. I place my family, my health, my finances, my loneliness, and every unanswered prayer before you. Hold the people I love. Guide those who feel far away. Bring peace to every room of this home, and forgive me for the times I believed I was too late, too old, or too disappointed to begin again. Tonight, I choose quiet faith. I choose surrender. I choose rest. I trust that your hands are steady. I trust that your wisdom is greater than mine. I trust that what truly belongs to your purpose cannot be stolen by doubt, delay, or human opinion. In peace, I lie down. In peace, I close my eyes. In peace, I release what I cannot control. So if you are quietly building something beautiful in my life, I do not have to prove it, defend it, or explain it. Your timing is perfect. Your love is near, and you remain awake on my behalf. Amen. Sleep peacefully. Dear friend, Jesus is here. The work is still unfolding, and you are safe to rest.